Hello. In our parasha, we read of the brothers throwing Yosef into a pit, and then Yosef is being sold to the Ishmaelim and brought down to Egypt. Yehuda is the one who comes up with the idea of selling Yosef to the Ishmaelim. And he says, "Ma betza ki naharog et achinu v'chisinu et damo." What do we gain by selling Yosef, our brother, and then covering his blood? It's better we sell him to the Ishmaelim, and then we gain money. So people could look at this action of Yehuda and say, wonderful, Yehuda actually saved Yosef's life. And then the Gemara in Sanhedrin says, those who praise Yehuda for such an action, for his action, are actually cursing Hashem. It's taking an immoral act and turning it into something good. The Meshech Chochma explains this Gemara a little bit differently than what I just said. The Gemara says, those who praise Yehuda for his actions are wrong, and it's as if they're cursing Hashem. What was the problem? Why should people praise Yehuda? And what is the problem with that? It's not the looking at Yehuda with saying, wow, he had good intentions, he actually saved Yosef's life, but in a different way. The problem with Yehuda is that he had bad intentions, but in the end, the consequences were good. Yosef went down to Egypt, became almost the king of the whole region, and saved the world. So Hashem, atem chashavtem alai ra'a, Elokim chashava letova. So if we judge this act, if we are judgmental towards different ethical acts that people do we judge them by their ends, by the consequences, or by the intentions? And the Gemara says you shouldn't look at this and say, "Oh, it came out well, good. So this was great. Yehuda had the zchut of saving the world." No, intentions are very important. If he had a bad intention, he needs atonement for what he has done. It's a bad deed that he did. It was a bad act, and it came from a bad place, and therefore he shouldn't be praised for this action. God turned it into something good, but that was not Yehuda's intention, and that shouldn't be looked upon in a good way. The same way with Yehuda and Tamar, the Meshech Chochma continues. The same thing. Yehuda had a bad intention. In the end, Mashiach ben David came from this interaction between Yehuda and Tamar. That doesn't turn Yehuda's action into a good one. He had bad intentions, and that's the way we should judge it. The Gemara continues, says the Meshech Chochma, in saying the opposite. Also Aharon, the Gemara says the same phrase about Aharon, that those who praise Aharon for helping Am Yisrael with the Egel are also as if they're cursing Hashem, God forbid. Botzea berech nietz Hashem. Aharon wanted Am Yisrael to build an Egel, a calf. He helped them instead of them killing him. Why? The Gemara explains that he said, if they would kill me after they killed Chur, they will have no atonement and they will have no second chance. And he wanted them to be able to receive forgiveness, and therefore he said it's better they worship the Egel. So this is good intentions, but the act is bad. And he says you should look at things in both ways. And if a moral act is done out of bad intentions, but it has good consequences, or out of good intentions, but it has bad consequences, in both times, in both places, atonement is needed, forgiveness is needed, the act should be frowned upon. It's not enough the good intentions, and it's not enough the good ends. And therefore, I think this is something for us to learn and understand the responsibility that we have. It's not enough just that things come out okay in our life, and it's not just enough that we have good intentions. We have to take the responsibility both for having good intentions and good ideas, and also take the responsibility for what happens as a consequence of my intentions. Shabbat Shalom.